Morning, here are your headlines at 6 o'clock, and intensive talks begin to try to end the nurses' strike as the government recommends below-inflation pay increases next year for millions of public sector workers in England.
Morrison's becomes the latest supermarket to limit the amount of fruit and veg you can buy because of a shortage of fresh produce.
Shamima Begum, who fled London as a schoolgirl to join Islamic State, will find out today if she's won her appeal against being stripped of her British citizenship.
In sport this morning, how ruthless Real Madrid leave Liverpool reeling, letting in 5 goals at Anfield for the first time in their history in the Champions League.
The swimming pool's struggling to stay afloat, an urgent plea from grassroots sports bodies for more government help to pay the energy bills.
Something needs to happen in some capacity, because if it's not funding, well then how are these places going to survive?
British Steel is expected to announce that it will close its coking ovens in Scunthorpe, putting 300 jobs at risk. Coke ovens are used to turn coal into coke, which is then needed to fuel the blast furnaces at the plant. But the closure would mean that the British steel industry will need to import its coke rather than creating it here in Britain.
Let's have a look at this morning's papers, shall we? At 21 minutes past 6, we're starting with the Times. Several front pages focus on the war in Ukraine. Times reporting that Russia's President Vladimir Putin is ready to abandon the arms control treaty with the United States.
It's OK to be scared, but we fight. That is the Mirror's headline this morning, as it carries an image there of 2 women standing between burnt-out tanks in the centre of Kyiv.
The Telegraph leads with the latest on public sector strikes, but its main image features the Princess of Wales attempting to flip a pancake during a visit to a nursing home in Berkshire. That was like all of us last night. I told you, first pancake, never any good.
And hers didn't look great, to be honest.
Yeah,
Pancake Day, they're calling it in the tabloids. One of the most read stories on the BBC website this morning features an interview with the pilot of a British fighter jet which crashed off a Royal Navy aircraft carrier. He tells of his relief after managing to eject. What a dramatic story that is.
Let's look at what's making the front pages of some of the morning's newspapers, and we'll start with the front page of the Times, which leads with that story about President Putin abandoning Russia's arms control treaty with the US, and the paper warns that it could lead to new nuclear weapons tests. The Daily Mail quotes President Biden's speech in Poland, saying that Putin will fail in Ukraine. While the Daily Mirror has 2 Ukrainian students on its front page with the headline, "It's OK to be scared, but we fight." The Guardian leads with the Royal College of Nursing suspending its planned strike action next week. The FT reports that the Prime Minister may be about to offer a 5% pay rise for people in the public sector to stop the wave of strike action, while the Daily Telegraph reports that next year's settlement could be 3.5% if the government gets its way. The Eye says that the PM is ready to let MPs resign over attempts by them to block his new Brexit deal on Northern Ireland. And the Metro reports on a WhatsApp group in which Metropolitan Police officers mocked women and minority groups. The Scotsman covers Sky News' interview with the SNP leadership candidate Kate Forbes, in which she stated her opposition to people having children outside marriage. The Daily Express, as we've been telling you, says that some shops are being forced to ration fruit and veg. And it's the same story on the front of the Star, with perhaps one of the better headlines of the day. We've reached the thin end of the veg. All right, now if you want to see the front pages again and read the stories attached, you can scan the QR code that you see on your screens.